All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into a retail revolution that's unfolding in India. We're talking about a market with just massive opportunity, but it's also a puzzle so complex, it's forcing a total rethink of what e-commerce even is.
And this is the number that makes everyone sit up and pay attention. By 2030, India's retail market, it's projected to be worth a mind-boggling $1.6 trillion. Yep, you heard that right. This isn't just, steady growth. It's a full-blown economic transformation happening at an incredible pace.
But here's the thing, that huge number, it hides a much more complicated picture. This is not a market you can just waltz into with the same old playbook. So the real question is, what does it actually take to win here? Well, that's what we're going to unpack. We'll look at the unique challenges of this Indian retail puzzle and the powerful new strategy that's starting to crack the code.
Okay, so first things first. To really get what's at stake, we need to wrap our heads around the sheer incredible scale of this thing.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because this chart tells a story that goes way beyond that big trillion-dollar number. Just look at the bar for India. The total market is massive, sure, but the spending per person, it's tiny compared to, say, China or the US. And you know what? That's not a weakness. That is the single biggest indicator of the incredible runway for growth ahead as incomes keep rising.
Right, but it's not just about future growth. If you really want to understand this market, you have to look at its most defining feature, and that's how incredibly fragmented it is. This is the great puzzle that everyone, and I mean everyone, is trying to solve.
And this chart, it just lays out the core challenge perfectly. Seriously, forget everything you think you know about retail in the West. In India, more than 3/4 of everything sold comes from regional and unbranded products. This is not a market of big, shiny national chains. It's a world of small, local sellers.
And this is where that 75% comes from. It's the world of what's called unorganized retail. Think millions of small, independent corner stores, kirana stores, family-run shops, and local street vendors. This huge informal network, it's the absolute backbone of Indian commerce. It serves almost 80% of the entire country's demand. But, a system like this has its challenges. This unorganized sector often deals with messy supply chains, running out of stock, things like that. The organized sector, on the other hand, they've got the tech, the formal systems, the consistent experience. So the trillion-dollar question is, how do you bridge that gap? The opportunity is right there, in connecting the massive scale of the unorganized market with the efficiency of the organized one.
So the big question is, how do you bring some order to this beautiful chaos? Well, the answer, not surprisingly, is technology, and specifically e-commerce. But in India, it's not a one-size-fits-all game. There are two very different stories playing out.
And boy, is it happening fast. E-commerce is on track to grow by a wild 20 to 25% every single year. It's becoming the main engine that's organizing this whole market, and it's basically leaving traditional brick-and-mortar stores in the dust.
And inside this e-commerce explosion, two completely different approaches have popped up. On one side, you've got your convenience-focused players. Think speed, big brands, targeting wealthier city dwellers. But on the other side, there's a model built specifically for the India we just talked about, value-focused e-commerce. And it's designed for the mass-market consumer, for whom one thing matters most: affordability.
All right, let's zoom in on this value-focused model, because this is the one that's been uniquely built to solve India's great fragmentation puzzle.
And the playbook here is totally different. This is not about searching for a specific pair of Nikes and getting them delivered in an hour. No, it's more about discovery. It's like wandering through a bustling local market, but online. The whole point is to give you a massive, deep, and super affordable selection of stuff. And the business model is different too. They mostly make money from ads, not by taking a huge commission from sellers on every single sale.
Yeah, this quote really nails it. This whole model is a direct response to the way the market is structured. It's built from the ground up to bring all those millions of unbranded, regional, small-time sellers online and connect them with the huge majority of Indian consumers who are, first and foremost, looking for a good deal.
And this right here, this is the secret sauce. This chart is showing you the cost for a seller as a slice of their total sales. On a value-focused platform, that cost is less than half of what it is on other sites. And by keeping those seller costs super low, the platform makes it possible for them to offer the affordable prices that the mass market is looking for. It's a completely different way of doing business.
Okay, so this low-cost model, it creates this incredible, self-reinforcing cycle, a flywheel,
that just fuels its own growth.
So here's how it works. It's pretty simple but powerful. The low costs bring in more sellers, right? More sellers mean a better selection and better prices. That, of course, brings in more buyers. More buyers means more orders, which makes logistics cheaper and more efficient for everyone. And what happens when costs go down? You guessed it, even more sellers join. It's this incredible accelerating loop. So, that sounds great, right? A perfect little circle on a slide. But does this value-first idea actually work out in the real world, at scale? What do the numbers have to say?
Well, the answer is a huge, emphatic yes. The numbers are just staggering. The value-focused part of the market grew at a 45% compound annual rate. To put that in perspective, that's more than twice as fast as the rest of the e-commerce market combined. This isn't some little niche. This model is actually setting the pace.
Okay, so let's pull back and look at the big picture again. What are the huge, long-term implications of this whole revolution? Because believe me, the impact is starting to be felt way beyond just India.
For starters, the size of the prize itself is just getting bigger and bigger. The entire Indian e-commerce market is on track to basically triple in just the next 5 years. We're talking about it soaring past $200 billion. A truly colossal opportunity is being born as we speak.
And if you want a little peek into the future, all you have to do is look at China. In that market, which is a bit more mature, platforms built on this exact same value-focused idea now control over 60% of the entire e-commerce scene. So that tells us this isn't just a passing trend. This model has the real potential to become the main way people shop online in India too.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really fascinating thought to chew on. This whole story, it might not just be about India. Think about it. As e-commerce grows across Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, places that also have lots of small sellers and price-conscious shoppers, could the playbook being written in India right now become the blueprint for how the next billion people around the world start shopping online? Now that is a question that could change global commerce for a long, long time.